Here it is, guys, the long-awaited part 3 of the Reptile Room tour. This is actually my second time I'm shooting this. The first time we initially just looked at the chameleons, and then I said I would divide this room up into the chameleons and the crested geckos and the other geckos. Well, I'm actually going to do a 20-minute video here, and we're going to do it all in one video. So this is part 3, and then part 4, possibly part 5, will be the last room, which is leopard geckos, Nephorus geckos, or otherwise known as knobtail geckos, and all our colubrids. So let's get it going. I know I had initially said that we're going to look at every single animal. Well, I'm beginning to figure out that it's going to be kind of hard to do that. Basically, we need to do almost a 10-part video if that were the case. So we're not going to take out everything, but we are going to try to get a look at everything. The crested geckos and the gargoyle geckos and the Chahouas geckos, we're going to look at like a couple different examples, but we aren't going to take out every single female or male that we have. So let's get started here. We have our chameleon corner. And to be honest with you guys, when we first came up with this setup, we didn't know like as much as we know now about chameleons. We do know that these cages are kind of small, especially for the males. I myself believe that they are in fact big enough for the females. We have female panthers and female veileds, but the two males that are at the bottom, a nosy bee or nosy bay, I guess depends on how you want to pronounce the name, are down here, and these cages are kind of small for males. So we are trying to rethink and come up with a way that will have them in something that's a little bit bigger. Right now we're kind of strapped for space, so for now this is what we got. All the chameleons though are in excellent condition. They're all eating great, their eyes are clear, they seem to be really doing well. So for now we'll be keeping them like this, but we are in the process of actually we're always in the process of thinking how we could do things better here. So anyways, enough talking, let's look at some animals. So right up here we have a female veiled chameleon, and she is het for translucent. I don't want to get too much into the morph just because it's a little bit harder to explain, just because basically you kind of have visual hets in this, but the super looks a lot different than the hets, but the hets do also look different from regular veiled chameleons. So this female is basking underneath a I believe that's a 75 watt infrared heat bulb, and then on top of her she also has a T5 Reptile 5.0, which is where she's getting her UVB radiation, which helps her to be able basically to absorb calcium from the food that she eats. If you don't want to get too sciencey about it, that's basically what it is. Basically why these animals, they need UVB radiation. So that is a female veiled heifer translucent. Right here, I will actually open this up because this is one of the most beautiful female panther chameleons I've ever seen, and you guys can see. Panther chameleons, by the way, guys, they stress a little bit easier than veileds. Veileds are kind of like an indestructible chameleon almost. You could actually overfeed veileds, and they take a lot of bad care for a little while before they actually like show signs of being sick. Whereas panthers they stress a little bit easier, so we're not going to bother her too much. But a really nice looking nosy bee female panther chameleon. You can see she's actually getting really offended by the fact that I'm checking her out. So yeah, so basically what I was just saying there is that panthers, you know, they stress a little bit easier than veiled chameleons. If you are one of these type of people that really need to handle your animals, I'd probably go with a veiled chameleon over pretty much any other sort of chameleon, just because they can handle that stress a lot better than some of the other stuff. But as is the case with basically all reptiles, you know, there's always exceptions to the rules, and if you like put in the time and effort, basically anything could become handleable to some extent. Learn to not like being handled, that's for sure, but definitely will learn to tolerate handling better than an animal that you would never touch, let's say. So this is the other female nosy bee panther. She is considerably smaller than the one we just saw. She has a little bit of growing to do before we decide to pair the male up with her. Chameleons are actually some of my favorite animals to keep. Just because I'm not the type of person that needs to handle reptiles that I keep. I don't mind not handling reptiles. And I really like these guys because where you have, like, let's say leopard geckos and other types of geckos that are nocturnal, they hide in their caves throughout the day. So you don't really see them. Whereas a chameleon, they have this thing where they're kind of, well, they're diurnal like bearded dragons, uromastics, so these guys are normally going to be out and about during the day. They're always in plain sight. They're not really like hiding from you. I mean, they think they're hiding from you, but obviously we're able to, you know, differentiate. Oh boy, let's not even try to say that word. We're able to tell the difference between them and a plant, that's for sure. So that's why I like them. They're always in plain sight. They'll eat in front of you once they get used to you, and that's always awesome to see. So this is another female veiled chameleon. She's a little bit younger. This one is actually the visual the visual translucent veiled chameleon. You can see she has that white mark on her eye, and she also has black feet with white tips. Basically, anywhere that's black or white on her will never change color. So they call it a translucent chameleon, but to me, a piebald chameleon would almost make more sense if we were to call them that. We have our big male at the bottom here. See, he's really relaxed. You know, he's not flaring his gular, which basically is his throat pouch. He's not flaring that out. He's not like changing color right now. He's not flattening his body, which I'm sure we'll see with the nosy bee male here in a second. But yeah, he's completely relaxed. I mean, once I go in here now and I touch him, he gets a little bit offended. You know, chameleons aren't really animals that are made to be handled by you. I mean, again, you could always find individuals that will tolerate handling. Like, you see, he's like not really loving it right now. But and yeah, try to show him better. Again, he is the translucent, the visual translucent. So basically, when we breed him to the female up there, who's a het for translucent, about 75% of the babies, no, 50%. 50% should be super translucents, and the rest will be all hets, I believe. I always get caught doing math in these videos. Not that like I hate math and I'm like an idiot or anything like that, but you know, I'm trying to concentrate on showing you and talking about these animals, so sometimes I don't want to get into that. I'm just rambling at this point. Here's a nosy bee male. So he's not too bad right now. Yeah, really cool. Really like this male. So some people actually prefer ambilobes or ambilobes. Again, depends on who's pronouncing it, but or the way you want to pronounce it, I guess. But ambilobes basically have more of a rainbow look to them, whereas these guys, they're just blue. I mean, I find it really cool that they're like this fluorescent blue color, but I could see why some people prefer the ambilobes, which are red, green, and blue. And what's cool about the ambilobes is when they actually sleep, sometimes the drastic color difference is just insane. When I used to have mine, he was a red bar, and he would obviously be green, red, with a little bit of blue during the day, and then when he slept, he would be pink and yellow. So that's it for the chameleons, guys. These guys, by the way, they eat either crickets, superworms, goliaths, silks. They're not really too picky, so that's cool. Now we'll move on to the Cresteds and the Gargoyles and the Chahouas. First of all, I just want to show you guys like all our supplement samples that we have here. This is the one we obviously use the most. This is Repashy meal replacement powder. This, I mean, I got my first crested gecko when I was either 15 or 16, and Repashy was still being made by the company T-Rex. So they, like, I guess owned the rights to Alan Repashy's formula. But since then, obviously, Repashy has branched off. I don't even know if T-Rex still makes Reptile products anymore. But this has been the staple, basically. You know, I've been using this, like I said, easily 10 years. I mean, the formula has changed a couple times, so the one thing I found with this newest formula, or I should say I've been told, is that there's a little bit less calcium in this. So there's a couple things you could do to add a little bit of calcium to this if you feel the need. I do feel the need to add a little bit of calcium just because we have a lot of crested geckos who hate crickets. They don't touch crickets. So I add some calcium to this. And now you could add like a whole bunch of different calciums. You could add like the Super Cal High D with vitamin D3, since, you know, we don't have any UV lights on these guys. So again, the vitamin D3 helps these guys to absorb the calcium that's in the food that they'll be eating. Right now what I'm actually using is Rescue Cal, not because anybody, you know, has metabolic bone disease or anything like that, but just because this is actually made, let's focus up a little bit here. This is actually made to be given as a liquid, so you usually mix this powder with water, whereas these powders usually are for sprinkling on crickets. So I just add a little bit into this. I wouldn't obviously go out and buy that and add it to this, but I have all these free samples that we got, so I figure why not. I just put a little bit of this in, and that's what I'm doing right now. But other ways you could do that is you could add plain yogurt to the Repashy. That will also up the protein in it a little bit. So anyways, and by the way, shaker cup, you know, not only for people who train, but really, really good for mixing your Repashy. Good idea to get one when you have a big collection like this. So we've got about 8 minutes left, so let's start here. First of all, we got a Mist King there. Well, there, the pump is down there with the electronic timer at the bottom. That's our bucket that we fill with RO water, which we have the advantage of having downstairs because we do salt water as well. So let's look at this first animal here. It's a baby gargoyle. Oh, here he is. So gargoyles are actually like my favorites, pretty much, of like what used to be formerly the Rhacodactylus family. So I'm including lychees, cresteds, Chahouas, and I guess that's about it for the common ones. But yeah, gargoyles have always been my favorite. I find, like, compared to the others, when they're babies, they're very like easygoing, super easy to handle. They don't jump as much as cresteds, I find. The one thing is like, you see what could just happen is they pee in your hands, so that kind of sucks. Since we're low on time, I'll hang that up in a second. You could also see I've given them their Repashy today. This is going to be another baby gargoyle, so I'll just skip that for now. Baby gargoyles, you'll notice they are separated, whereas these guys, whereas these guys, the Chahoua geckos, they're actually not separated. They're cohab together. And I don't know if that other little guy just, I did a suicide dive. There he is. So we got 2 in this cage right now. We're pretty much done for the season with Chahoua geckos. But yeah, the reason why the Chahoua geckos are kept together is they don't usually show any aggression towards each other. Even if one is like considerably bigger than like the other, I've never had problems keeping Chahouas together. Last year we actually ended up keeping 8 together, and they were as small as this one, and I would say like this big, and we didn't have any issues. So again, I'll have to stick that back up in a second. Obviously this cage is a little bit dirtier. There is 2 animals in there. I try to clean the glass about once a week. So, and if you guys keep these animals, you know that they love crapping on the glass. If you check like all the cage bottoms, like there's no crap on the bottom ever, always on the glass, which is a pain, to be honest with you. And if it were completely up to me, we'd keep these guys in plastic Sterlite bins because they do not need a lot of heat. Instead, we keep them in these glass terrariums, which makes cleaning the terrariums a big pain in the ass. And now this is our Chahoua cage. I'm gonna show you the male. We'll see how like crazy he'll end up being. This male really is not a fan of getting handled. Try to show you his face. He's actually being really tame right now. Normally he's jumping and flying all over the place. But that's our male. He's the one that sired those two. And they are mainland Chahouas. We do have one Pine Isle male that you'll see here in a second. In this cage over here we have our trio of gargoyle geckos. So these are the guys that produced the baby we saw earlier. Again, like, you know, I'll say it over and over again how gargoyles are my favorite of the arboreal geckos, you know, that you typically find that are commonly available. Just because, I mean, look at this male. He just let me pick him up and just kind of sitting there in my hand. Whereas, again, I find crested geckos and some of the others. I mean, I haven't really worked extensively with leechies. I've just basically kept one for a couple days that we were basically holding for a client. In this cage we have our Cresteds. We have just a couple Cresteds here. I'll actually show you the male because he's the nicest one in this cage. He is what we would classify as a Dalmatian, not exactly a super Dalmatian, but pretty close. Red Harlequin. And of course, for those of you who don't keep crested geckos, you probably wouldn't know this because you're like, why'd you call it Red Harlequin? Clearly it's like brownish beige, but these guys actually fire up, especially at night, right after they've been sprayed. They get very bright. And typically the animals that kind of have this pinkish undertone, they end up being bright red. He's more of a rust red, but so that's him. Running low on time here. And the devil is right over there. He is much bigger than the mainland that we have. This is this is our Pine Island Chahoua, who is very cage defensive. He really does not like when I go in there, which is weird because he started off like super tame, and now he hates me. So I'm just gonna, you can see he's always moving and watching me. You would think he doesn't get fed. Just kind of move your toes there. There he goes. All right, 2 minutes. So the bigger cages at the bottom here, the 24 high by 18 by 18, they have up to 4 Cresteds in them. And in that 4, it includes a male. We only have like 3 males right now though, so we kind of need to pick up some more. There's a couple of really nice ones I want to show you guys. We have some like pinstripe stuff. And a lot of the Cresteds we have are actually animals that were like given to us. And there you go. Have some pinstriping on this one. So a lot of them like do have missing tails, or like, let's say this female, she has like that floppy tail syndrome. You know, typically they get that when they've been housed in something that's too small. For whatever reason, when they're housed in stuff that's too small, they tend to point their heads towards the bottom. I know some of you guys are going to be like super pissed because I know a lot of you are huge fans of crested geckos and you probably wish that the whole video right here was on Cresteds. And this right here is one of our bigger females. So she might try to bite me here. Anyways, that fell. I got about 30 seconds left. Actually, that's the female right there that I wanted to show you guys. She is like my favorite. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully I'll be able to show you guys more crested geckos in the future. I just went through them very quickly today. You know, we still had those 3 cages. But I'll tell you what, guys, to make up for it, I'll do a crested gecko video that will focus just on these guys in the future. Hope you guys liked it. Take care, and please subscribe, like Safari Reptiles, etc., etc. Bye bye.